In today's lesson, I will be going through personal recount writing. Okay, so there are three things that I will do. Firstly, I will explain the organization and language features of a personal recount. I'll go through and analyze a sample essay. Lastly, I will give writing tips about writing personal recounts. So, why write personal recounts? We write personal recounts to record and share our personal experiences. So, in the exams, a personal recount essay usually starts with words like this: write about a time when you, or write about an experience you. So, what are some of the common topics that people write the personal recounts? Would be write about a time when you celebrated a holiday and why is it memorable. Write about an experience you enjoyed doing during your childhood days and why it meant a lot to you. Or write about a time, write about an experience eating food with your friends and explain why this food memory is worth recounting. Or write about an experience you went on a family trip and why is it memorable. So all these are possible topics that might come out in examinations for personal recount writing. Next, I will talk about organization features of personal recount writing. Firstly, orientation. This is where you provide a setting and introduce your characters. So usually you use the 5W1H to give the orientation. So the 5W1H includes who, what, when, where, why, and how. So body means the body paragraphs is where the story unfolds. You describe the sequence of events. Thirdly, you have the conclusion. So you do not leave the readers dangling. That means you don't let the readers guess what is going to happen in the end. So how do you not leave the readers dangling? You need to end off the story and perhaps do a little bit of reflection on what you have learned from the incident or what you have do differently if you have the chance, for example. I strongly encourage that you write the lesson learned or what changed in you after going through this particular experience. This is also known as coda. That means the moral of the story learned that you went through. Fourthly, you write the personal recount in a chronological order. So you're encouraged to tell the story in the sequence as it unfolds. Of course, you can choose to use a flashback technique. However, if you are not very confident of using a flashback technique to avoid confusion, only reserve it for the beginning or the ending. You don't use this flashback technique at all. Imagine if everybody used the flashback technique, the examiner will be quite bored. So you can use other ways to start the story. I'll share with you later. Another organizational features of personal recount writing is to use dialogues. You want the reader to be able to experience as much as what you are writing as possible. So dialogues enable them to hear the characters. So, for example, in your you can use dialogue such as this. It's time to wake up, honey. I'll always be there for you, I promise. So who will say such things? Will be somebody who is very loving, right? So that's the organization features. Next, I'll talk about the language features of personal recount. So in personal recounts, we use past tense. Why? You can only recount something that has already happened. So you use past tense in your writing. Now, you not only use simple past tense, you also use past perfect tense, past continuous tense. Okay, so each of these type of tenses help to add extra information and different feel to the writing. For instance, the past perfect is used to denote something that has happened even prior to a past event that's being mentioned, while the past continuous helps the reader to imagine something as it was happening in the past. Another language feature of personal recount writing is the use of descriptive elements. You use figurative language to help the reader to see as much of what you're writing about as possible. So let's take a look at this example. He ran his fingers through his head of curly snow white hair and sat up on the edge of the couch. So, can you spot any sensing verbs? So one possible verb is ran. Okay. Another verb is set. Okay, and the preposition is set up. Okay. So he ran his fingers through his head of curly snow white hair. You can see this person's action. Okay. And set up on the edge of the couch. Where is he in? In a living room, and his action of sitting up. Okay, you can also see or imagine how this person look like. He has a head. How does his hair look like? Curly, and the color is snow white. Okay, so these are adjectives. Okay, you can use the adjective to show the description of how a person look like. Another language feature of personal recount is the use of first person pronoun. So it won't be a personal recount if it didn't happen to you. So pronouns that refer to yourself, such as I, me, my, okay, should appear in your writing. Let's take a look at this sentence. I will never forget the look of love that passed between my parents as they made eye contact. So the first person pronoun, I, okay, my, tells you that it's not somebody's parents, but your own parents. Okay. Another language feature of personal recount is the use of time connectors. As the story unfolds over a period of time, you need these connectors such as during, when, then to link your story together. Okay, let's take a look at this sentence. Soon she had a batch of peanut cookies baking in the oven. So, soon tells you that, okay, very quickly she had some cookies baked. Okay, so use connectors such as during, when, then in your writing so that you can show the sequence of events. Next, I will go through a sample essay and analyze it with you. The topic is write about the time when you received something unexpected. How did you react to it? Okay, let's start. I thought you could use this more than I do, she whispered into my ear as she pressed the red velvet box into my hands and clasped my fingers around it. Before I had a chance to react, she had disappeared into the crowd. I stood in the midst of the shop, the glare from all the claw machines blinding my eyes and the loud music blaring out assaulted my ears. Gingerly, I snapped the box open, and there, staring right back at me, was a large, sparkling rock held in place by delicate prongs of white platinum. That is the top prize from the claw machine, I gasped, hardly believing my eyes. That ring is worth over $20,000. Who is that woman? Why did she give it to me? How did she know I needed the money? Endless questions flooded my mind, and I had no answers to them. I did have an answer to a question that had been on my mind for weeks, though. Without further procrastination means wasting time, I made my way to the nearest pawn shop. So, this story started with a dialogue. Okay, so starting with a dialogue is often intriguing as the reader has no clue what is going to happen and will need to read on to find out the rest of the story. So, you can use a dialogue to start your story. I noticed that many students like to use ring, like to use open my eyes, and put the setting either at the school or in your bed. Try, to use the dialogue to start so that you can go straight into the personal recount and hook the readers to continue reading your story. Okay. Now, personification is used here. Personification is a type of figurative language. So, personification means giving an inanimate object a human quality. So, let's try to spot what is the personification used here. The loud music blaring out assaulted my ears. So what is the inanimate object? The inanimate object is the loud music. Okay? And what is the human quality here? Assaulted. Assaulted means hurt. Okay. So this word assaulted, hurt, is a type of figurative language technique which is known as personification. Okay. Another thing that you want to notice is that the thoughts and dialogues are written in present tense. For example, here, that the top prize from the claw machine. That ring is worth over $20,000. Who is that woman? So the thoughts are written in present tense. Okay, to show that these are thoughts. Next, what exciting verbs can you spot? Okay, what exciting verbs can you spot? Okay, uh, let's try to spot the exciting verbs. Okay. She whispered into my ear. Okay. She pressed the red velvet box into my hands, clasped my fingers around it. Then after that, she had disappeared into the crowd. Okay. Next one. Okay. Stood. Okay. Continuing. Blinding my eyes. Okay, loud music blaring out. I snapped the box open, staring right back at me. Okay, I gasped. Okay, that's the reaction. And hardly believing my eyes. Okay, endless question flooded my mind. Okay, and I made my way instead of saying I walk. Okay, so in terms of these exciting verbs, maybe I can say that this is also sensing verb. Okay, so what sensing verbs am I referring to? So these sensing verbs describe what the character sense using any of their five senses: sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. So these sensing words give us an idea of how the character feels of things. So, for example, I, okay, she whispered into my ear. So this whisper means that she said it softly. So instead of using the word said, you whispered. Okay, uh, and this word pressed it, the box into my hands instead of put the box. What's the difference between pressed and put? That means it is using with a slight force. Okay, clasped my fingers around it. So clasped means that it is the fingers go around the box. Okay, I'm sure you want to know the rest of the story, so let's continue. Okay, with the cash from pawning the ring safely tucked away in the money belt, I headed for the hospital, where Mom had been warded for a few weeks as she battled yet another bout of cancer. Despite the generous medical supply subsidies provided by the government, we were still left with a large bill after Mom had been discharged. We pleaded our case with the social workers, but they were unable to help us much, since we had already received substantial financial aid before. Every month since Mom had come home, we had received payment reminders, each one bearing a sum larger than the one before. Thanks to the penalties and interest added on to the already colossal sum. We tried cutting expenses at home, only buying groceries that were on sale and cutting back on meats, but there was a limit to how much we could shave off our bills. Mom needed nutritious food after all, and eating canned food was simply not an option, for her at least. So in this paragraph, you can see where the orientation is provided. So you know who, okay, is involved in the story and how. Okay, uh, so so who is involved in the story? Of course, you have I, okay, and you have about Mom, okay, being the story, and how um, how is this means the ways, okay. So where did she go? She went to the hospital. Okay, she went to the hospital. Now, I want you to take a look at the show not tell technique. Okay, the show not tell technique. Okay, instead of just saying, put the money in my money belt. Okay, you see that they say that with the cash safely tucked away, right? Tucked away. Okay, in a money belt. Okay, so you can see that where the money is. Okay, next, headed for. Instead of go, went to, you say headed for someplace. Okay, the word battled means that the mom is was fighting with cancer. Okay, next, mom have been discharged. Okay, okay, pleaded. That means like begged. Okay, with the social workers. Okay, received on. Okay, so not tell. Instead of saying that we have debt. Okay, the description here is receive payment reminders, each one bearing a sum greater than the one before. Okay. Uh, okay. Notice this. Shave off. Shave off means um, cut. Okay, so shave off is more of a figurative language. Okay, let's continue. The last bill that arrived was accompanied by a dreaded threat to liquidate whatever possessions we had to pay off the outstanding amount. At that point, I was helpless. I did not know where I could go to save our house, and every night I had nightmares of us sleeping on thin cardboard on the streets. To take my mind off, I decided to do something I have always enjoyed: watching strangers try their luck at claw machines. Would you like some tokens? The girl manning the cash counter at the store asked. Okay, so how did the writer describe her inner fear? Okay, if you see, okay, using the word helpless, this is tell. Tell me that she was helpless. But how do you show not tell? Okay, show not tell how she felt helpless was every night I had nightmares of us sleeping on thin cardboards on the streets. Okay, and using the dialogue to change the scene. Okay, so where is the uh, person, the writer now? Okay, at the store, right? At the store, at uh, what store? At the claw machine store, right? At the claw machine store. Okay, let's continue. No, I can't afford to play, I replied. Not with the hospital bill, I have no idea how to pay, I added. She nodded sympathetically, sitting in a jar at the counter. Thanking her for kindness, I strolled around the store and congratulated whoever was successful at securing a catch. Just as I was about to leave, a lady who had been playing at one of the machines approached me. I thought you could use this more than I do, she whispered to me and pressed her prize into my hands and disappeared. That prize helped me to pay off my medical bill. Today, I still do not know who the lady is, but there was money left, which I donated to charity, and I will continue paying the kindness forward. So, what exciting verbs can you spot? Or maybe I should use what sensing verbs can you spot? Okay. So some of the sensing verbs include replied, right? Added, okay. Nodded, okay. Offered, okay. So you can see the girls reflection. Okay, and then I strode around. So strode means instead of saying say I walked around, strode means walked leisurely. Congratulated. So you can imagine her saying, uh, uh, "Congratulations, you won." Okay. Next, sensing verbs approached. So again, there's an action. Okay, you can see that she will walk towards you, and then whispered to me. So notice that the writer uses the same dialogue to help the reader to connect the start and the end of story. You can only do this if you planned your essay. Okay. Uh, okay. So these are some of the sensing verbs that help you paint the picture. Okay, to let you see what was happening in this personal recount. Now, I would like to spend some time to talk about the reflection. Okay, so while we do not know the identity of the woman, we can guess that the woman had overheard the writer talking about his or financial woes. We also know that what the writer did after receiving the gift, and that concludes the story. So, in other words, what was very important because of this particular dialogue? Not with the hospital bill, I have no idea how to pay. Okay, that explains why this lady who won the diamond ring gave it to the uh, writer. Okay, and that is why it was unexpected. Okay, she didn't expect this to happen. Okay, now I also want you to uh, notice, okay, uh, the tense here. Okay, the tense here. So, for example, you see the word till date, because of the word till date. I still do not know. So that is simple present tense. Okay, then there was money. So that is simple past tense, which I donated. So simple past tense. So in the future, what will she do? I will, okay, continue doing this, paying the kindness forward. So this um, is telling is you the lesson learned, the reflection, right? The lesson learned and the reflection, which is I will continue paying the kindness forward. Okay. Okay. Lastly, what do you need to do? You need to practice. Okay, now that you've learned about the language and organizational features of a personal recount, try writing a personal recount based on the topic given by your teacher. Now, you can consider using objects and photos to stimulate your imagination before you write, because when you look at a picture, especially of the particular experience that you're going to write about, you would be reminded of what happened. You will record the sight, the smell, the taste, the hearing, or the touch. Okay, so all this will surface in your mind. So you can go to the Voices at Play book on page 304 to 307 to learn more about this technique. Okay. You can also learn how to organize personal recounts using a graphic organizer. That is in the Voices at Play book, page 300 to 380. So, if you are stuck at your introduction, what can you do? Okay, so in the previous parts, I have shared with you that you can use a dialogue. For example, what are you doing here? Sam question. Then you will subsequent to say, I explained, okay, that I am at, okay, this particular place. So that will solve your orientation of the 5W1H, which is who is involved, like Sam, okay, where, okay, so you explain where is it. Okay, another possible way to start your introduction would be to use an action. For example, Sam patted my back and smiled encouragingly. So this particular action will make you explain where is this place taken place and who is Sam and things like that. Okay, I hope that today you have learned more about personal recounts.